and welcome back to the Sanctum. I thought I'd do a pre St. Patrick's Day live here and go through a lot that I acquired on eBay a couple of months back. Now, a few months ago, I picked up a very cool Submariner custom piece that was made of all custom Mego pieces. And in that same auction, there was a huge lot of vintage toy parts. And I kind of separated them into bags here a little bit. And I thought it might be fun to do a live and just sort through this lot together, showcase some pieces, maybe get some ideas from you guys as to what some of these pieces are that I don't know what they are, and just have fun chatting and going through this stuff. So join me if you will before we spring forward 1 hour here for those of you that are celebrating or bemoaning daylight savings time. Let me put on a couple of tunes. Put on a couple of tunes. Let me spin a record here to play in the background while I do this. I can see that absolutely no one is watching right now. So I'm doing this purely for my own entertainment. But hopefully, a few people will pop in and say hello. That was my knees cracking. I'm moving to the record. I'm turning on the record. The record is playing. And let's start going through some of these pieces. Why don't we go through the big bulky box first and see what we've got here? Okay, hold on 1 second. Open it up. And we can start sorting through some of these pieces. Now this one I already marked. It is a Verdun shirt from a Mego Verdun astronaut. Kind of a cool piece there. It's good to have extra ones of these lying around. Feel free to chime in and chat if anyone is out there. Now, got this. I don't know what this piece is. It must go to a GI Joe, I would assume. Seems to be some sort of dog training type outfit. Bright orange, or maybe it's like sort of a fire safety thing. Now this, I believe this is a Mego part as well. A little worse for wear and stain. It's kind of interesting. I think this all came from the same person. Like I said, it came in that same auction where I acquired the Submariner figure that was made up of vintage Mego parts. I did an episode on that, and by all means, please check it out. It's a fun episode featuring the Submariner and the history of the Submariner in comic books, as well as showcasing that awesome figure. I believe this is this Cochise, one of the Western Mego heroes. I think that's his shirt. Another one. I'm assuming this is a GI Joe piece. Maybe not. It's too small. Might be an Action Jackson, or possibly a Big Jim. If anybody knows. Clearly, there was a patch that went on there. It is no longer visible. Still got the snaps. I don't know what that piece is. Go through the clothing first. I know what this is. This is definitely GI Joe. This is an Atomic Mike, GI Joe's version of the $6 Million Man. This is his shirt. I still have my original Atomic Mike around here somewhere in a box. It's a little worse for wear. I believe he's missing a leg or an arm or something like that. And I don't know if he has his shirt, so I'll probably add that to him. Now, there's some action figures in there too. And we got this from, of course, Battlestar Galactica. That was the cutesy poo animal. This is also, I believe, Atomic Mike. It's a piece. He held on to it, and it was sort of, he spun his bionic arm so fast that this would shoot him into the air like a helicopter. What else we got here? Pair of blue jeans. I think that goes to a Big Jim character. But these go to Big Jim. Big Jim's jeans. Now this, I believe that's a cape for Zorak. Some type of helmet here. I assume this is G.I. Joe. It's so big it's got to be a Joe type figure. Not sure what that is. Assuming this is Joe too, communication headphones. It's kind of cool going through all these parts and pieces. It's amazing, a lot of kids like myself, when you had these toys or things like this when you were young, this is the stuff you just lost immediately. Record was a little loud. Can't hear myself think. Some more stuff here. Now this must have been the kid's name, Mike Morton, because his name is written on a lot of this stuff. That is a G.I. Joe for sure. Backpack. Oxygen tank, something. G.I. Joe Super Team. Super Joe. I assume this actually looks like a stove, doesn't it? Does it go to some kitchen set? I'm wondering. Or is it some type of communications radio for some headquarters? I'm assuming this is something to do with G.I. Joe. An alligator? Now, I think this alligator is from a Lone Ranger playset, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that goes to one of the Gabriel Lone Ranger playsets. Another helmet. I want to say, is this $6 Million Man? I think this is $6 Million Man. Bionic Man. I think this is the Steve Austin outer space, astronaut helmet. This is clearly it's some type of radar dish. Not sure what that goes to. Again, my guess is most likely G.I. Joe. And that's the stuff most of us had around that time. It's kind of cool. This is sort of a representation of all the cool toys in the 70s. And this kid must have had quite a bit of them, because he had G.I. Joe stuff here, $6 Million Man here, Big Jim, Battlestar Galactica, Super Joe, Gabriel Lone Ranger. Lots of cool stuff. Here we have, a map. Now, what did this go to? My guess is this is either a Gabriel Lone Ranger playset or G.I. Joe map, because it's not the map that goes inside the Matchbox pirate's leg. I had the Captain Peg leg, and he had a little map that rolled up and went inside his peg leg, and this is way too big to be that map. Pair of shorts. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's out there, chime in. I think these are Atomic Mike shorts. I might be wrong, but they're definitely shorts for, my guess is a G.I. Joe character. Another radar type device. Doot, 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 doot. Oh, my guess is that's G.I. Joe. Another one of these minor helmets. Not minor as in under the age of 18, but a minor 49er. This is cool. Little communication device. The kid wrote on it, sort of colored it in. Again, I love that type of patina. Always enjoy that. This one's still got the straps on it. I don't know what that goes to though. Oh, broken. This cool piece. Now, this is, I want to say, all right, so this says Mego on it. So I'm guessing this is an Action Jackson piece. Is that like the Action Jackson logo kind of peeled off there? I think it was like a firefighter set or something. Oh wow! I bet it. Wonder if you could fill this with water and actually squirt water out of it. It's kind of cool. I never really had the Action Jackson stuff. It was a little before my time. I had the Mego stuff, but I didn't have any of the Action Jackson stuff. All right, I think this is Action Jackson too, and it probably goes with that firefighter set. It's the like the firefighter's hat or hood or whatever to go into the fire, because it looks like it would fit like an 8-inch figure. It's too small to fit a Joe. Again, I just love having this type of stuff. I don't even have some of these figures anymore, but it's cool to have these pieces. Okay, we've got a medical kit here, and it's actually got some stuff inside it. Let's see what's in there. Oh, awesome! Bionic Joe parts. Bionic Joe. Bionic Man parts. $6 million man. That is cool. Those always got lost too. I mean, this is just like a treasure trove of going through the 70s, taking a step back in time and digging through some kid's junk drawer. Or all of us, I'm sure, when you were growing up in that time period, you had a box in your closet or your toy box that was filled with random pieces of toys that you acquired throughout the years. And over time, you lost parts and pieces, but you still kept stuff. And that must have been what this is. And I'm wondering if this was some type of estate sale that this came from or something along those lines. I have no idea what this is. This says Hasbro on it, so it's definitely a Joe piece. I'm guessing it's some type of piece to one of the play sets. Anybody out there? Chime in, say hello. That I know what this is. This is a flagpole for a Marx playset. I had numerous Marx playsets. I had Battleground, I had Guns of Navarone, or the Navarone playset, and this was for the flag, I think, on the top of Navarone. I love that Navarone. I think I acquired it twice because I destroyed one at one point, and then my parents got me another one somewhat down the line. Another communication device here. I don't know what this goes to. I'm guessing this could possibly be $6 Million Man, or it's G.I. Joe. It's a radio headset. That Oscar Goldman, is that something Oscar Goldman would wear? And we got a shovel, military shovel. And what is the company on the back? It just says Hong Kong. So, military shovel, I'm guessing G.I. Joe. Scuba mask. Anybody know the scuba mask, what it goes to? Captain Action Jackson, Big Jim. Still in good shape. Nice. There he is. His initials, Mike. Where did we see it written? Mike Morton. Mike Morton, if you're out there, I've got a pile of your parts and pieces that I acquired on eBay, as well as I would love to hear the story, Mike Morton, if you are the genius kid that put together that vintage Submariner that I've got in my collection that I got this same auction lot. I think this goes, I'm going to guess this is Action Jackson. Scuba tank, oxygen tank, something along those lines. I think it probably goes along with this piece. Ooh, flippers. Scuba diver flippers. Whoop. Now, what do we think these go to, gentlemen and ladies, and whoever else is out there? Oh, God damn it. Pardon my language. Trying to see if there's any markings on there. Which I can't really see. There is something small written on the inside of that. Can anyone read that? I don't really have my readers up. Taiwan. Taiwan. All right. That's where it was made. Broken rifle. That is definitely G.I. Joe. And of course, those got broken off all the time. Piece of a playset fishing rod. Something along those lines. And here we've got a bunch of legs. Whose legs do we think these are? Is this a Mego leg? Do we think this belongs to a Mego figure? Is this possibly Lion Rock? What do we think this is? This, I am assuming, is a Joe piece. Because the Joe pieces always had those weird little dimples. And there's the rivets there. Well, I don't know. Is it too small to be a G.I. Joe leg? Here's both of them. That's the second one. It's funny, he kept those. Another radar piece. Beep, beep, beep. Assuming that's Joe. Please chime in if you think it's something else. A beret. A hat or a beret. My guess would be that is definitely G.I. Joe. Perhaps the French resistance fighter or something along those lines. I had G.I. Joe as a kid. I always wanted Bullet Man and the Super Joe stuff, but I had Gore, I had Terron, I had I don't know if I had any of the Super Joes. I might have had Luminos or whatever, not Luminos, the light up guy there. I had Atomic Mike for sure, and I had a regular Joe. Assuming that's a G.I. Joe gun, grease gun. Yeah, Hasbro, that's Joe. A broken piece. I think this probably goes to the Big Jim Karate Studio. Is that like one of the boards he breaks? I don't know what this is. It's like a satchel or something that's supposed to hang. I assume it goes to one of the Western heroes, like a bag, medicine bag, or a holster. This is just one bag. We've got a couple more to go, but this was sort of the odds and ends pieces. One I sorted into that I definitely know is Mego pieces. The other one was like smaller weapons and such. The fire axe. I think that fire axe. I think that's Action Jackson. Binoculars. Anybody know who these binoculars belong to? Anybody watching, can you chat out there? Just give me a little hello. I'm just trying to see if the chat works. I don't know, but I don't see anything chiming in. Not that you have to, but I just was wondering if the chat is working. This is a flashlight. I don't see anything. Okay, I guess not. Machine gun, broken machine gun. This says Hong Kong. This is not a Mego. This was probably like SWAT. It's too solid. I remember the Mego guns didn't feel this solid. That might even be a Joe piece. A stick with a string on it. I don't know if this is something the kid used or if this is actually a piece that goes to a playset. Thank you. Nice bits and bobs. Right back at you. Right back at you. Yeah, I have fun going through these bits and bobs, as you call them. Kind of interesting to see these pieces. Like I said, it's a little trip down memory lane. It's like going through the bottom of your toy box when you were a kid, trying to figure out what went with what. I bet the kid that had this knew right off the bat what went with everything. Assuming that's a Joe rifle, there's his initials again, MM. Like I'm saying, this is all from one kid's collection, which is what I think is absolutely fantastic. Barbell, that has definitely got to be a Big Jim piece because Big Jim was the gym rat of children's toys back in the day. Him and all his cohorts hanging out in their karate studio, their dojo, their camper van. Another one of these lights. That I assume is a Joe piece. I love it. The decal's still on there. A nice rubber holster. I'm guessing this is one of the Mego Western heroes, or possibly, oh, it could be a Gabriel. See anything on there? Mego. It says Mego on it. That is a Mego piece. That's one of the Mego Western heroes, or possibly Action Jackson. What is this? Is this something that goes to the Micronauts? That would be my guess, that this is a piece that goes to a Micronaut. All right, I do not know what this is. Some piece of armor or something that goes to a playset. What does it say on there? Is it Hasbro? Come on, man. Damn your eyes. Yeah, Hasbro. So that's G.I. Joe. Something to do with G.I. Joe. Another communication piece. Interesting. Johnny! Vincent! John is here. Jody, get over here. Is that John at Tagetmeyer? It's John, Vincent, not Jonet. Excuse me, I've been woken up and I'm going to spring forward an hour. Expected to remember every a-hole's name that comes onto your channel. Hey, Vincent, calm down. John, good to see you, man. Always good to see John. I love chatting with John. John and I are like brothers in arms, fellow monster kids. And he's got a fantastic blog and channel too. Bionic Vampire Ninja. Amazing collection that he's got. And great taste in films. That's a shoe. This is a shoe or a sneaker. I'm guessing. Could that possibly be $6 Million Man? I don't know. Bigfoot, maybe? Bigfoot. The $6 Million Man, Action Jackson. What else I got a whole this is a whole from a whole bag of stuff that I acquired, John, off of eBay. This came in the same lot that cool Submariner pastiche came. Here's another holster. Not sure what that goes to. And really tiny bits and pieces. This we've got another $6 million man bionic part. A wrench that could possibly be from the game Clue because it's made of, of metal. A peg for one of those legs that we've got lying over there. Oh, what the heck is this thing? Is that a no? I don't. This is too weird. It's not a. I don't think it's a Micronaut part. I think it goes to I don't know, Action Jackson or some type of figure. I don't know what that is. That's odd. Flashlight. I guess that's Big Jim or Action Jackson. It's too small to be G.I. Joe. And a bindle, if you will, of dynamite. That could possibly be, my guess is a Gabriel Lone Ranger set. Missing the wick, of course. So that's that bag of pieces and parts. Let's put them away so we can go through the next bag, which we will do when we do the Mego pieces and parts, the ones that I definitely know are Mego. That'll be kind of fun. And if anybody wants to chime in as to what these pieces and parts are, if you go back and look and want to go down in the comments and leave me some messages as to what you think these pieces are, that would be helpful. I do know what some of them are, and I took some guesses, as I said. But the next bag we'll go through will be the, I have some other Micronauts parts, so I'm going to set that aside. My next rabbit hole I have to go down is going through acquiring Micronauts figures. I had some when I was a kid, but I love it. I will say one thing I've got about the Micronauts is the Micronauts comic book series by Marvel Comics by Bill Mantlo. I read that as a kid, loved it. It's amazing what Bill Mantlo did with that series. He took a toy property and turned, he just made some great mythology out of those toys. He did the same thing with Rom. I have full runs of both, and I highly recommend you read Rom or the Micronauts. Now, on to the Mego parts and pieces. The little white bird is a little companion robot bird for the Micronaut Acroyer. All right. Awesome. Thanks, John. We have a yellow cape. I am assuming this belongs to Batman's Ward Boy Wonder. Robin. Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know. Huh. That's odd. This is a cape. Oh, you know what? This has got to be Shazam. That's who it is. Or Captain Marvel. I don't know. What are we supposed to call him nowadays? I always called him Shazam as a kid because that was the name of the comic book, although I know he was Captain Marvel. Yeah, here's Robin. Here's an actual Robin shirt with the cape. It does not, oh, it has a button, but there's no button on the other side, no snap on the other side. Again, I think this is all from that one kid's collection. Pair of pants. Whose filthy stained pants are these? SWAT, possibly? Emergency? Rookies? Batman. Yeah, he must have tried to glue the emblem back on. Came off. This one's still got the, well, yeah, it's got both snaps. Nice. Oh, yeah, here's what goes with the cape. Shazam! Still very bright and red. Oh, some tears on it, though. Got both the snaps. Nice pile of Mego clothes. All right, that's the clothes. Now, who would like to see some head? Get your minds out of the gutter. Got a Riddler head. He must have taken his Megos apart. Obviously, the kid did because, like I said, I'm going to keep harping on this. Watch that Submariner episode I did. It's getting not as many views as I thought it would. But we've got the Riddler's head here. Of course, we've got the Mad Monster Frankenstein head here. Can't go wrong with that. Classic. And the thing I love about the Mego Mad Monsters is that Gray Morrow did the artwork on the boxes. He is a fabulous, or was a fabulous, cartoonist and comic book artist. And he does some fantastic box art on those boxes. Pretty cool looking. I always thought that this was the closest looking thing to Christopher Lee's Frankenstein at the time. Until they, of course, did make it Christopher Lee Frankenstein. But I really like that. Looking at it close up, the milky white dead eyes. I know that's because they're supposed to be glow in the dark, but 1974. So this is an early one, Mego Core. Awesome. Who is this guy? Who is that? That one of the rookies? Is that was either a SWAT guy or a rookie guy? There's no Mego on the back of the neck, so I don't think it's a Mego figure. And it's got a different plug. So my guess is SWAT or one of the rookies. Too bad. It almost looks like Peter Parker, but it's not, sadly. I think that's Shazam right there. That's his head. So I guess if I got a body, I could possibly put together a really ragged looking Shazam. Now here I'm going to be a little lost. Well, I know what this is. Okay. So this is a cool piece. This is the Green Goblin satchel. And this is kind of hard to come by. They usually break, and they're usually missing from the figures. So this is a nice piece. And I think that's definitely an original. I mean, based on everything else in the lot, this has got to be an original satchel. Yep. Green Goblin satchel. That was a good find. I got the lot for a fairly decent price. Here's somebody's torso. Mego Core. I mean, it's just a generic torso. Could have been any of the characters. Ooh. That is Batwoman, Batgirl, I believe, not Batman. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Because I think Batman's was a little bit darker color, but I could be wrong. That's nice. Some nice pieces. And the kid kept them in pretty decent condition. Oh, there is it's either Robin or Green Arrow. I think it could go to either one of them. You call them the oven mitts or the gloves. And these are originals, not the repros. Like I said, this came from an all vintage lot. Green Arrow's quiver. Sadly, these straps broke off, which is often the case on that. Got another oven mitten here. A yellow one this time. So I'm guessing that. Actually, did Robin have the yellow ones? Maybe the green ones for Green Arrow and the yellows for Robin. A shoe. That's Robin's shoe for sure. A boot. My guess is this is Superman. He had the red boots. Although, no, Shazam was yellow. So that's most likely a Superman boot. Ooh, an Iron Man boot. They're in pretty decent condition. Too bad that I didn't get the actual figures. I do have a lot of these figures. But well, this is interesting. This has a little bit more of an arrow shape to it. And these are definitely the pair. I'm guessing those are Superman. Well, that one is not. Huh. So if you're a Mego expert, what's the difference between these two boots? They look very similar, but they're a little bit different. And who do they go to? Yellow boot. So see, this is the one I think that goes to Shazam or Captain Marvel. Blue. So I'm guessing that's Batman, Batgirl, one of those. A lot of shoes here, a lot of boots. I wonder why he kept all this and and lost the actual. Again, here we go. A blue boot. Maybe Type 1 had one boot, and Type 2 had a different boot with the sort of point going up. So you can see the differences here. You got that one. Almost looks like he might have cut it off. Actually, maybe he cut it off or bit it off. Maybe that's the case. Still looks like a smaller boot for some reason. That's Thor. I know that's Thor for sure. And this is cool because this is like a vinyl or rubber, a little bit more solid. They didn't go with the plastic for Thor, probably because you couldn't do that with the plastic at the time. I love Thor. Thor's got some great accessories. And speaking of Thor, why are you dissing people that have things for shoes, Johnny Tagemeyer? What are you supposed to wear on your feet, Jody? He's over here dissing shoes. You should see the platforms I'm wearing right now. Yeah, I know, John. Kid had a shoe fetish. Maybe these belong to Quentin Tarantino. Um, Thor's helmet and the peg is there, which is normally missing. That's awesome. It's like a graveyard of Mego pieces. Oh, here's the other shoe for Boy Wonder. Those come in my size. No, Vincent. Here's some moccasins. Now these went to these are either going to Cornelius or Galen, or they might be one of the Western hero figures. Oven mitts, the matching yellow. Ooh, two blues. Those are pretty hard to come by because, again, kids lost those off the bat. The other green. Now, whose belt is this? Oh, that Batman or Batgirls, or do they use the same for both of them? That's cool. I mean, he seems to have. He's got all the stuff that people lost, and he doesn't have the figures. People like kept the figures and lost all these parts and pieces. He's got all the parts and pieces and none of the figures. But again, from seeing the lot, from seeing that Submariner figure, yes, go watch the Submariner episode. It was a really cool figure, and this kid was actually kind of a genius the way he built that. Another blue boot with the sort of upper pointed angle. Oh, now see, here's another blue boot with the top kind of cut off. Someone explain to me these boot differences. Yellow boot. I think this is Thor's armband. That goes on Thor's wrist, would be my guess. One of his gauntlets. This is Iron Man's fist. I know that. Anybody alive out there? Hello? What's going on? We have a mask. Now, As much as I would like to think that this is the Robin removable mask, I believe it is a Gabriel Lone Ranger mask. The Robin mask is quite a sought-after piece, and sadly, I don't think that's it. Here's a shoe. That shoe, I do not know who that goes to. Anybody got any clues? Some random hobo? Oh, one more boot. This one is worse for wear, though. This one's kind of split, and he tried to tape it. Wow, this kid really liked his character's shoes. Oh, wow. We got a bag of weapons here. Holster. Guessing that that is G.I. Joe, possibly? It's hard plastic. Spear gun. Ooh, who does that go to? That's kind of cool. That's got to go with the scuba mask we saw in the last lot. I see you, John. Sniper rifle. I'm guessing that is G.I. Joe. This one I know is Joe. M16. Say Hasbro on it? Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, Hasbro. So that's G.I. Joe for sure. Pickaxe belongs to the miner from My Bloody Valentine. No, that is probably a G.I. Joe piece. Now this is a Mego M16. So that went to the Planet of the Apes, usually the figures for the Planet of the Apes. G.I. Joe would be my guess on this machine gun. If you're just tuning in, we're going through some bits and pieces, kibbles and bits of a collection that I picked up off of eBay a few months back. Kid basically, it's his junk drawer full of bits and pieces from his toys. He seemed to have kept all the cool parts and actually lost the figures. He's got heads, he's got shoes, he's got outfits, he's got weapons, accessories. He didn't have many original figures. That is a G.I. Joe for sure. Pretty positive. I could be wrong. Mego or SWAT M16. This I know for sure is G.I. Joe. But he was also used. Does anyone know? Can anyone tell me what other classic vintage toy this piece showed up with? One, two, anyone? He was Mr. Rocks. If you had a Mr. Rock, which is a knockoff. Yes, very good, John. You didn't let me down. If you had a Mr. Rock, which I never had, I only found about it later on in life. I'd love to get one. That was used as his ray gun, I suppose. I always had this with the GI Joes. It was the late. It was like a blunderbuss pistol. I know it's supposed to be a flare gun, but it's the weirdest looking thing. The old Spock impersonator. Jesus, look at this thing. A machete. I'm guessing this is possibly Big Jim. It's a different type of plastic, but it could be GI Joe or Jason. My God, another one. Different plastic though. Interesting. Another M16. Definitely have a cool armory here to deal with. Ooh, a bandolier of bullets, rubber. I'm going to guess Big Jim. I could be wrong. It might be G.I. Joe. Now, what is this? This has got to be, is this a later G.I. Joe bazooka? It doesn't look like it goes to any of the figures that would fit. Now, this almost looks like a 3 3/4 inch figure. Anybody know what bazooka this goes to? Another friggin' flare pistol, Mr. Rock ray gun. John, do you have a Mr. Rock? You don't own a Mr. Rock, do you? Oh, this is cool. This is a double-barreled shotgun. All right, I think you're right. It goes to the Remco Sergeant Rock figures. This, I think, is a Gabriel Lone Ranger piece, or one of the Lone Ranger figures. Yeah, I loved Sergeant Rock as a kid. I loved reading that comic book. And when they came out with those Sergeant Rock figures, I was so disappointed at the time. Now I find them quite charming. I think they're kind of cool. But when I was younger, I was like, oh, boo. Like, you know, I hated the way those Sergeant Rock things looked as a kid. 45 pistol, bent, probably G.I. Joe. Okay. So is that Sergeant Rock too? Like a little machine gun? Remco Sergeant Rock, possibly. Oh, this kid went pretty far. He had stuff dating all the way back to the 70s and then up into the 80s with Sergeant Rock. I know this is G.I. Joe because I remember one of my G.I. Joes had one of these. Unless he sort of got stuff from his older brothers, carried on. 6-gun pistol. Anybody know what that goes to? Mark's figure would be my guess, possibly. And then these, all right, this I'm assuming is the Lone Ranger. That's a hard plastic pistol, so that could be a Gabriel Lone Ranger. And again, these are the stuff that always got lost, but this kid held on to it. I'm guessing that might be a Gabriel Lone Ranger piece too. It's a smaller, harder plastic. We're nearing the end here. Everyone, calm down. Take a deep breath. I'm almost done chatting. Thank you for those of you that sat in. All right, so here we go. What is that? Micronauts piece? Anyone tell me? It's a hard piece of plastic. No idea what it goes to. This I know. That is a phaser from Mego Star Trek. Can always use those. Tons of Mego Star Trek figures. Ooh. That is Chewbacca's bowcaster. Now that's cool because people lost this crap all the time. That always got lost. I mean, I think I lost all the weapons to all my Star Wars figures back in the day. Set that aside so I don't lose it. Some type of missile, firing device. Assuming it's from maybe a Micronauts. Now these I think I know are, well, these are Micronauts, right? Yeah. Hold on. Those are Micronauts for sure. Or they're not, they're too small to be the things that go in the Green Arrow car. So I'm pretty sure those go to Micronauts, the hard rubber. Boom. And these ones I had to put in because they were so tiny. There's another one of these, Micronaut missiles with rubber. That's what I thought, John. Is this Micronauts too, whatever this is? There's two of those. This is an ape's sword or scabbard. No, those aren't. I don't know what those gray missiles go to. Those are hard to find out. I'm pretty sure that's apes. I might be wrong. Is that like an Urko sword or saber? All right. Who knows what the hell that is? I think that's got to go to a Micronauts. And I know what this is. Han Solo's blaster. So he had Chewie and Han Solo. He kept them both. Nice. That's a tough one. This got lost so much. I don't know if I have my original Han Solo. I have a few of my original Star Wars figures. I've never gone around and bought other ones. I've just sort of kept the ones that I've had over the years. So that is it. That's a Micronaut fun for a Micronaut named Pharoid, Egyptian looking. Okay. Finn. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, John, as always. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Gun. Okay. It's a gun? Interesting. All right. That little silver piece, is that what you're talking about? Or was it the gray thing? Interesting. So that's cool. You have a good evening as well, my friend. Everyone, don't forget to set your clocks ahead an hour. And if I don't talk to you all by St. Patrick's Day, have a happy St. Patrick's Day. And don't forget to check out all my other episodes that I've got in the Sanctum. We've got quite a bit of interesting things. We've got Vincent Price's Sanctum Sunday Storytime episodes where you can listen to old power records and things along those lines. I've got a lot of costume episodes, lots of vintage toys, lots of comic books, lots of cool stuff to look at. And I'd appreciate it if you give it a look and a like and a thumbs up. Thanks for joining me here on this late Saturday evening where I'm at. I appreciate you all taking a look at this pile of junk with me, or as I consider it, a pile of treasure. And thanks for chiming in. And please leave some comments down below if you know what some of these parts and pieces are that I was asking about. Other than that, this is Dr. Durant signing off. Walk in beauty, my friends.